Twitter. This is a real joy because of all the stereotypes of Puerto Rico. Ricardo Rossello destroys those stereotypes. He's the governor of Puerto Rico. But what you need to know, besides moving a tennis ball over the net, is he has taken the most rigorous path in science and medicine in America. That's the esteemed biomedical designation from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and on to a PhD at Michigan, which is arguably as prestigious a program as well. Dr. Rossello, wonderful to have you with us
Pleasure
today.
to be here.
I want you to talk about the stereotype of Puerto Rico. You go up to 102nd Avenue in New York City, and there's a street there named for the sacrifice of Puerto Rico in World War II. What does the president get wrong in his stereotypes of Puerto Rico?
Well, the first thing that everybody needs to know is that Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens. I think that was a little known fact prior to the storm, prior to Maria, and then afterwards, everybody now knows about it. Secondly, the people of Puerto Rico are very strong, very resilient. They've added a lot of value, as you stated. We have one of the highest per capita military rates in the United States. So we want to make sure that we are part of the of this process. Puerto Ricans are proud Americans, and we want to be a full part of America, not a second-class citizen.
What to get to a first-class investment plan for the Caribbean sphere with all the competitive forces there in turmoil? What do you need from Congress?
Well, we're going to need some of the rebuilding money. Some of it has already been placed on statute, but there's going to be a couple of other statutes that need to come along. So rebuilding money, we're going to make changes on chronic problems in Puerto Rico. So the energy grid, as well as others, I think are a great opportunity for Puerto Rico to thrive.
Governor, are we going to see actually financial investors back? We have a story on the Bloomberg terminal saying, look, because you're coming to the end of the bankruptcy, it actually may draw traditional municipal bond buyers back to the island. When will that happen?
Well, one of the challenges we have in Puerto Rico is we're close to the markets, right? Because of the oversight board and the fiscal challenges that we've had. But there's a great opportunity now. Again, rebuilding funds can range up to $100 billion coming to Puerto Rico. And then the opportunity zones also represent a great moment for investors to come back into the island. Puerto Rico represents a where real estate can have a very high value, and because of the rebuild money, because of some of the very attractive incentives that we have in Puerto Rico, now the opportunity zones, it's the right time to invest in Puerto Rico.
When will you be out of court protection?
Well, it's a long process. It's a novel process. Title, what's called Title III, which is sort of a Chapter 9 type of an arrangement. It's the first time that it's been executed. We have 9 creditors in Puerto Rico. There are 19 main creditors, and we've already started negotiations with the 3 of the main ones. So hopefully we can move quickly, but it really depends on the negotiations with them.
Within the structure of Puerto Rico, the government of Puerto Rico, Governor, is the idea of Puerto Rico having a brain drain, and not only just a brain drain, but a general people drain as well. The first order condition is you got to get Puerto Ricans to come back to the island. How do you affect that?
That's a symptom of a lot of things, right? People leave either because of opportunities or quality of life issues. I think it's right now we have an opportunity to let everybody that has left know that we can rebuild Puerto Rico and make changes to chronic problems in the past. I mean, a lot of the folks that want to be back, they just want opportunities back home, and they just want to have a...
What do you need from American business? What do you need from multinationals? There's all the stereotypes of making baseballs and all the rest of it. Forget about it. There's the stereotype of the president launching the paper towels after the hurricane. What do you need from Tim Cook? What do you need from Mary Barr at GM?
Well, come and see Puerto Rico and invest. It is a unique opportunity right now. And again, with the opportunity zones, which we can discuss, it's the right time for folks to see Puerto Rico as a platform for innovation. And our view is if we leverage this moment, we can actually have the reverse brain drain. We can make what we're calling the human cloud be Puerto Rico, where not only Puerto Ricans come back, but anybody that wants a great quality of life and can benefit from all the incentives come to Puerto Rico and call it home.
But Governor, the problem is that I'm looking at a Moody's report, right? And they say, look, GDP has increased, but the pace of future growth is very uncertain. People want certainty. When will we get that?
Well, again, it is a very challenging predicament in Puerto Rico. But now there are a certain set of opportunities which people need to see, and I think it's, again, three parts. Rebuild funds, over $100 billion, opportunity zones that will make that dollar, that capital gains, frozen capital, be able to come to Puerto Rico, and competitive incentives for the investor, for people that export services that are the most competitive in the nation. So all of those three leveraged together place Puerto Rico as a prime location for growth and opportunity.
As U.S. citizens, Governor, you mentioned the military contribution that Puerto Rico's made, and as I mentioned, the sacrifice in World War II, it's been noted. Great. The new thing on the block is a new Cuba as well. You mentioned competition. How does Puerto Rico compete with the new Cuba and the excitement over restoring Cuba to some Caribbean path?
Well, some people see it as a competition. I see it as an opportunity.
In what way?
Cuba is going to have to leverage construction, growth, and Puerto Rico is positioned as the prime helper in that aspect. So as part of the United States, as sharing a language, we can be part of that rebuild once it completely opens, right? So Puerto Rico has a opportunity to even grow in tourism as Cuba grows as well, but also to help it rebuild in terms of infrastructure, because we have the know-how, we have the quality of people to help, and I think it would be a natural fit.
Within all this is the politics of Washington. If you were to go to Washington right now, who do you want to speak to? What is the #1 message you have for executive and legislative branch Washington?
Well, there's, I would say, two messages. Number one, obviously continue on with the help for the rebuild of Puerto Rico is going to be critical for our future. And number two, it is time to make sure that Puerto Rico doesn't have obstacles towards the future. And the main obstacle has been a political one of sorts. Because the second-class treatment, second-class citizenship treatment, is because Puerto Rico is a territory, a colonial territory of the United States. The world has eradicated colonial territories, but the United States has kept Puerto Rico.
So you're still advocating for statehood right now?
I am advocating for statehood, and I think it would be in the best interest of Puerto Rico and of the United States.
Governor, thank you so much. Ricardo Rossello.